Alright, so here we're going to show how to enter in order. So we are in the bell weather. We start a new purchase order for a bird. So here we click, and that will be for the 24th. Go to a month is good. The PO number, let's look at what we ask. 10304. PO number 10304. Alright, so what's the term? Shipping via UPS ground, I believe. Yep. And let's look at the quantity and the item. So we have tool. Alright, I have 15 of that. So 15 item. That was 2. I don't remember, so let's go back. 35430. Okay, 430. Okay, and we know it come automatically. So what's the next one? 25 or EQWT. EQWT 15140. EQWT. Won't be correct. Okay, let's go here. So that will help. 1540. 1540. 15140. Okay. That's correct. EQLW, no. EQWT 15140. Okay, EQWT 15140. Here we are. And then 10. 35 530. Running sharing. Here we are. So we enter the PO that was asking, we double check the price, it's good. So we have entered it, and it's just a sale order. So we agree. 10304 was our PO. UPS red. I did wrong. UPS red. 24 Herbert. Alright, so we just save. Alright, so now we're going to go to the report. We can click report here, or we can click report and form. Let's do this one. We look for purchase order register or purchase order report. We are looking for the one we just entered, 10304, correct? 10304 is here, Herbert, and we can see yes. But we want to customize, so by now it's very easy. We see option, and it was in March 24. Double click. March 24. Here are the different filter. We can just say PO order number 10304 to 10304. And in indeed we have the purchase order that we want, and we can just PDF as we normally do. And we have saved it. Okay, so we just enter a purchase order. Now, a few days later, we're going to enter inventory because we are receiving a partial receiving of what we order. So you do enter bills, new bill. Of course, that was Hubbard. So we go there. It's March 29, and the invoice number is 7341. Okay, and we received that against the PO 10304. So we go to here, very similar to the sales order. So here we receive inventory against a PO we just created a few minutes ago. If we would have received everything, we can just click on that icon and ship all or none. Well, how many we receive here? 25 for the wholesale, but we only receive 5 for the catalog, the port log, so we cannot just do that. So we say none. So we can just enter here, we receive 5 on this item, and then we receive 25, the full order here. Very similar to when we shipped on a sale order. And we have here a total of 532. So here we have they ask also for the journal ledger. So let's look at the journal. By now we know how to get here, and indeed it's on the inventory. If we're not sure, we click here, we have inventory, we're good, and account payable, that's very good. If it would be for cash, then we will change to a cash account, but that's not the case. Okay, so we just keep it that way. We will see later on when we purchase a non-inventory item, we will change therefore the general ledger, but here it's good, it's okay. So we do have the same number here, and we're all good. Now if you would have received a quantity but did not have the invoice number, then we will say waiting on bill, and we will click here. But since we got the invoice number, we can just keep it that way. We say save. Alright, so we just enter quantity received of partial receiving of inventory. Now let's look at the report. You have different reports that we can play with. Some that you're already familiar, very similar to sales order journal. So let's look at just the transaction we want. We receive it on 29. We can also, invoice number was 73. And here we are, we do have the journal entry. We have the inventory. To type, we receive 25 and 5 item. This is the line item description, the invoice and the date, and it goes against account payable for the total amount. So we're good there too. I'm looking for vendor cycle. Okay, another report I want to show you is the vendor ledger. So we can do the same thing, either going to the 29, or we can go to the vendor ID and check Hubbard. Here we are. And you will have here Hubbard 329, the credit amount, the activity with the transaction, which is here the invoice number, the type, purchase. Get just familiar with different type of report, so you can get a feel of how certain information are just reported. Like we saw customer, now it's like vendor, very similar feel, and it should be easier. One more report I want you to show is the so we did vendor management detail. It gives you, like for Hubbard, go down, and it gives you basically the key information such as the term, the current balance, the invoice transaction, what the date, and the amount. Okay, and it's unpaid. That will be, we had a transaction of March 29, but here when you look here, the date due, so because it's net 30 days, therefore it's going to be due in April 28. I want to customize, cancel, option, be familiar with those, invite ID, Hubbard. Because this time what I want you to do is be familiar with the report. So if I'm asking to report certain type of information, then you will let me know which report. Okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do is pretend that out of some of that inventory we have received, 5 are defective, so we will return to the supplier Hubbard. So here we are, credit and return, very similar to when we do sales. Hubbard is our supplier and it's returned on the 30th. Credit memo will be CCM 33012, and we have a choice here against an invoice that's already in our purchases. So we know we already had an invoice, and that's our invoice, and the credit memo here will be against 5-4 hose wheel card. Okay, that will be 5 and we'll be good. And and that is it. And we just save it and it's done. So we just enter a credit memo, and here in the purchase journal we can customize the report to show only the credit memo. What I did is like option, so you first enter the vendor ID, you click Hubbard, alright, and then credit memo and you click only. So basically that's the filter here, only credit memo for Hubbard, and that's what I have. Alright, so now we had for Hubbard, we had a purchase order. We did receive partial shipment. We also recorded therefore the invoice against the PO. We also returned some of the material and did the credit and return. And now I want to demonstrate payment. So we do pay bill, we'll enter Hubbard, we write the check number, and cash account, we're good, regular cash account, and we want to pay our invoice that we just enter here. Remember, if the due date April 28th, it's March 31st, so we do have a discount, so we just click that on pay. Now remember, that was not 458, it was really 558, but we had on problem 3 we had return for a total of 99. So I just want to show you that here, if we double click on this transaction, we should have the history. So we have the invoice that indeed we want to pay against, and this is 458, but it's due to the 558 original minus the return. Remember, when we enter the return, we enter the return against that specific invoice, so it took that in consideration. Therefore the net due is 458. But also we have a discount because we are paying before the 30 date, and if I click again here, it says 2% discount if we pay within 10 days. So that's what the $11 is about. And so as we do that, we just say save and we're good. So we just wrote a check for the invoice, so let's report it on a cash disbursement journal. Vendor ID, Hubbard, we want only the transaction of 331, so I'm going to filter with the date. Alright, so here you have exactly the check number 1234578 with the account involved. One is the discount taken, $11, because it was pay within the 10 days, so we got 2% discount, the invoice that was paid, and the net amount. Check register is another report that you can take a look of the transaction. So here we'll do check number, and it was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, just to have the transaction. We're familiar now how to customize, and we have here just a transaction saying okay. So right now you just know how to enter PO, enter receiving inventory, return some inventory. You also learn how to pay. So that's the whole cycle. What still need to be done is for non-inventory item, because then you would have to change the general ledger to a account that's different than the inventory account.